views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when.
This is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page, welcoming you to my TV show. Today's special guest on Zoom is Tom Volz, and he is an author as well as a fireman, and what else?
Wow.
Is those two? Photographer?
Pardon?
Are you a photographer as well?
No, just most of those pictures actually my son took. I take some pictures of nature, but they're not high quality, anything like that. It's just like getting out and seeing some of that stuff. So,
That's cool. Yeah, I'm going to ask you several questions. I hope you don't mind.
no, go right ahead.
Well, Tom, where were you born and raised?
Right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
And which schools did you go to?
Elementary school, I went to Sacred Heart, which it shut down, I believe, 2 years after I left there and joined with St. Henry's. And so I've been through the Catholic school system, and then Bishop Lewis High School, and then PFW, back when it was IPFW, is where I went to college. So I did all my schooling here. I've lived here in Fort Wayne my entire life.
So you haven't moved anywhere,
Just on vacations and stuff like that. I've never lived any other city. So everything, I mean, a few different houses in Fort Wayne, New Haven area, but that's it.
Okay, what did you major in?
Philosophy.
Oh,
So the art of thinking, which I got a BA and BS basically. So
I like you. So what was your first job?
my first job was actually McDonald's on Rudisill. Worked there through high school, and then Scott's on Decatur Road. Shortly after that, worked a lot of different part-time jobs, all going through school and everything. First full-time job was with the fire department right out of college.
Fire department. How long have you been with them? How long have you been with the fire department?
24, almost 24 and a half years now. So
You're still a young kid.
I wish I felt young, but it's been beating me up. So
What is your job? What are your duties as a fireman?
I am a private on the fire department. So I will do anything as far as we do a lot with medical runs, things like that. But I also am one of the drivers for the fire trucks, things like that. I used to be a lieutenant, so I was the officer for almost 7 years, not quite 7 years. Didn't care for that position too much, so I went back to being a private, and that's, so I'm either on the back of the engine or I'm driving it. So
Yes, there's a lot of that emergencies here in Fort Wayne.
yeah, there's a lot more than people realize, and they're not always emergencies, but there's a lot of 911 calls, and especially now with people with COVID stuff. And I think it's ramped up the fear factor. So everything that people, some people might not have called 911 before now they're calling because they're a little more concerned with different health issues and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely been busy.
Have you been taking a Red Cross course? You have to.
Uh, the CPRs, things like that. Yep. Yeah. Have to do that every 2 years, recertify. So yep. And just did that this past January. So
Oh, is it tough to be a fireman?
it is, it's very hard. It's it's a lot more wear and tear on your body than people realize. Um, my wife was a firefighter here in the city for 33 years.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and she's been having hip issues and things like that. There are a lot of people who hips, knees, back. I've been having some back problems lately, just all kinds of different stuff that just all keeps adding into it. And yeah, so I mean, it's a job that'll beat you up pretty good.
so how
Um,
long do you think you will be with the firehouse?
I'm hoping to do on about another 7 years if I can. Um, so right now I'll be turning 49 in the fall,
Wow.
and I want to try to go until I'm 55, maybe a little bit older. So 6.5 to 7 years, somewhere in there. Um, so if I can hold out that long, um, but on the other hand, if the book stuff takes off, then I can go sooner. But
You are an author of many books. Is it novels or novella or
mhm.
what? Which one?
The difference is really word count, page count. Novels are typically 60,000 words or more. All mine are, all my novels are well over 300 pages, usually in the 80 to 100,000 word range. The novellas are usually up to 40,000. Um, so, and that's the one novella that I have is, I think, 41,000. So it's just a little over the limit, but it still isn't long enough to be a novel. So,
Well, how long did it take you to do one book and then sequence of it? Series.
um, it really depends, one, on how much time I can devote to it. I mean, when my son was first born, I've been writing for probably 16, 17 years. When he was first born, and I had, when he would take a nap, I could go sit down and work on the story and things like that. And I was really good at using my time in that aspect. But as he got older, then having to pick him up to and from school and doing all these kind of things, it got a little bit harder. But now he's away at college, so I've got more time. First draft for a book for me, if I really dive into it, I can get a first draft done in about 2 to 3 months,
Oh,
which is pretty fast. But those first drafts are pretty ugly too. I mean, I have to really edit them and then get rid of some stuff, add some things, really clean them up. And that'll take another couple of months. Right now, the one I'm working on. I've been working on for a little over 3 months. Probably about a month away from finishing that, and I've been editing as I go. So I'll probably send that out to a couple of beta readers and have them look over it. If they think it's good to go, then I'll look at moving farther with it.
you do your own proofreading or have someone else?
Both. I as I write, like tonight when I sit down to write, I will go through what I wrote last night and I'll edit that before I start writing anything new.
Right.
And then when I get everything all done, I'll go back to the beginning, re-edit the whole book, and then send it to 3 or 4 people and have them look for any mistakes. And frankly, have them tell me if they think it stinks or not. I mean, because I need that feedback from people because I think everything I write is great and I could be wrong.
With your books, what's the genre or style of books that you?
I have written quite a variety. Um, most of them would qualify as thrillers.
Yeah.
But I do have a couple of science fiction. The novella is a science fiction one. One of the novels is science fiction. One I'm working on right now is actually horror, but it would still qualify as a thriller. It's not something just to scare you. I mean, there's a lot more to it. This one's actually going to be like vampires and werewolves and things like that, but there will be a lot of crazy other things that happen in with it too. So I'm going to be part of that Dead convention in October. I was told some of my current books would sell well there. So when I decided to go there, I thought I better do something that is more appropriate for that. So I figured I'd try a horror book too. So
Sure. You have trilogies. You have more than one series on one topic, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
The one series that I do, the Testament series,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be 6 different books that aren't going to seem to be related. They're totally different characters, but when I write the 7th book, that's going to pull all the first 6 together, and you won't. People aren't going to realize what it is, and I guess I can tell you, it's about the second coming. So but these books are all very violent, just like the times we live in. Like Jericho Road is dealing with human trafficking and the ugliness that's in there. And eventually all that will come to a head in the 7th book. And kind of like we're kind of swirling the drain right now. So we need to get everything corrected or we're going south too quick.
Tell me what Jericho Road is about. That's your second novel of that Testament series.
It's the second in order. The only thing that happens with the order is they're based at the very beginning of them. I have a quote from the book of Revelation, and it's the sequence of those quotes is what sequences these books. So actually, the first book from that series that I wrote is called Mine Angel. Jericho Road is the second one that I've written. Mine Angel is number 6 in the series. Jericho Road's number 2. I'm writing book number 1, working on that in conjunction with the other stuff I'm working on right now. So it's random how they're going to be released when I get them finished. But then that 7th book it's going to be a monster.
Now, I hear you're working or have worked or volunteered for Soren Rapture Rehab Facility. Rapture.
Yes, I used to work there. I was volunteering. I did a lot of stuff like once a week, cleaning out, doing kind of the dirty work, cleaning out the pens and, getting rid of the dead animals and, that kind of the what they're feeding.
Oh,
Yeah, what's left, the remnants, the disgusting part of the job,
yeah.
cleaning all that up and then filling up water, replacing all that, putting new rodents out for them to eat and everything. And then I have been involved with some of the flight training. I've done 2 releases myself, and I've been a part of 2 others. But that was back before, because then my father had a stroke, and I had to really start helping out with them. So, and that was years and years ago. He has passed since then. I didn't have the time to volunteer there anymore with having to take care of my parents and everything. But yeah, it's a very good facility. A lot of great people working there.
I am with Track Three Rivers Art Center for Kids here in Fort Wayne. And we have been putting on events every year for the past 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
Recently, we're doing river drums that's on at the promenade bar. And with one of our river drums that we had the soaring raptor birds
Yeah.
at our event at Headwaters Park.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful. I was that close, about a foot close to a beautiful bald eagle.
Mhm. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I got to feed him when he first came to the facility. I was there that Jefferson, the bald eagle. Yep. I was there when he first came in, and he was having issues. He wouldn't eat, so they had to kind of force feed him. So I would go help with that,
Yeah.
which was it's just fascinating to see those things that close.
They're beautiful. They got beautiful, long, sharp talons, don't they?
Yes, they do. And that's the biggest thing you got to worry about. Everybody worries about the beaks and all that. It's like, nope, it's those claws that you got to worry about.
What would you like to say about your books? I like to see one or two of them. Have
All
you
right.
there?
I guess put this one up here. I don't know how well it's gonna
Fresh
show up on there. It's freshwater.
It looks like a shark.
Yep, it's a freshwater bull shark.
Mm.
That right now is my best-selling book. I've actually sold some copies of it in the UK, which surprised me. Up until this last weekend, I think I had more sold in the UK than here in the States with that one. So that was pretty neat. That one's it's a thriller, very much like Jaws. I actually, when I read the book Jaws, I did not like it near as much as I liked the movie. I love the movie Jaws, but in the book, the characters were not very likable. They were all very bitter, and it got to the point where you're rooting for the shark. And I wanted to do something different. I wanted this, and I know my brother, he read it, and one of the things he said, I was rooting for the people and for the shark. I wanted them to catch the shark and get it out alive, and things like that. So that's kind of what I was hoping to get across, is that it's not nature that's bad. It's a situation that's it's in a foreign environment, so it's going to react differently. And then I really researched on that book, and I do on all my books. I do a ton of research on them.
Do research on the jaws of deep water.
Pardon?
How long did it take for you to do that book
Um,
about the shark?
I want to say that one first draft was probably about 3 months, and then I think with that one I only had one. I only had my wife read it over, and she found some mistakes and then gave it her blessing. So off it went. So that one was actually pretty quick.
Did you research on computer or in the library or?
I do most of my research on the computer here at home. I think if I can lock myself away in a room like this and have privacy, I can get all the research done that I possibly can. And then a lot of times doing the research, I'll find something else out, and it spawns new ideas for the book. Like in researching this, I did not know that there's a branch of stingrays that live only in fresh water. They can't live in salt water anymore. And that was kind of one of the things I hint at in the book, is that there's some people who think that's what's happening with the bull shark, is eventually it'll be exclusively freshwater.
Oh, that's getting
Which is
into our nature.
terrifying.
Something's not good out there.
Yeah.
So, where do you get your ideas?
I grew up in front of a TV almost my whole life, watching movies, TV shows, rewatching the same movies over and over and over. And I always thought, man, it would be neat. I've seen this movie already, so it would be neat if this movie did this differently or whatever. And I ended up doing that with with the book. Watched the movie The Bourne Identity, and then I thought that premise was really neat, and I wasn't much of a reader before that. So I went ahead and read the book. And then in discussing it with my wife, I kept saying, I kind of wish he would have done this or did that, and back and forth. And she got sick of hearing it. She said, why don't you just write your own damn book? So I did. So that was my first one, and I haven't released that one yet. I'm still going back and doing rewrites on it, but that one, I had that first draft done in 2 months, and it was a great experience. I sent that one out for professional editing and learned a ton that I was able to apply from there on out. So, but that one will be another series that I'll release at some point. I'm hoping to get that first book out later this year, but I have, I want to say, close to finishing the novel that I'm working on, and I have, by the end of this year, I want to have another 4 novels released.
Of one subject, like a
different ones.
Different ones.
Yep. Because a couple of them are just, I'm going through and rewriting the original work. And it's, I want to get it in better shape before I send it out to the public.
You have a book to show me, my friend, besides the Deep Water?
Let's see say that. Jericho Road was the other one we talked about.
Right. And who was the illustrator of your books?
On these, I actually paid for the pictures. I downloaded and paid for use of the pictures. I have a local artist who did a couple of my ebooks, the covers for my ebooks, and he's going to be doing the one that I'm going to be releasing next. He's working on the cover for that one. So it'll be his photography and his editing of it that will be the actual cover art.
So he'll be definitely in the credits.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some of my poems out in a children's book thing. I don't know how long that would take to self-publish or whatever.
Yeah.
You self-publish?
Yes. Yep. I do everything right now through Amazon.
Oh, Amazon.
I don't know. I'm gonna try Barnes and Noble and a couple other avenues as well. But right now, everything, at least the online books, have to be through Amazon right now because of an exclusive agreement that I made with them. So
that makes sense.
But the paperbacks I should be able to sell through any avenue. So I'll have to, if I do it through Barnes and Noble, I have to reformat everything and do all that. But yeah, that's kind of the pain in the rear part of all of it. I'm trying not to cuss. I tend to be a potty mouth.
Personality. You got to be part Irish. You gotta.
No, actually, unfortunately it's like straight German heritage for me. So.
No, my mother was Prussian.
Oh yeah.
Before Germany took over,
Yeah.
What is your website?
Pardon?
What is your website so people can come look at your work and all that?
It's my last name, Bolz, and then INK, volzinc.com. And that has most of it. It originally had all the projects that I either have done or am working on, but I ended up doing some more that I haven't updated on there yet.
It's kind of tough out there to get things moving, isn't it?
Yes.
Just me.
Yeah, that's the hardest part of it.
So altogether, everything over the years, how many have you written? Online as well as in books?
I have 12 that are available.
Mm-hmm.
And I have starts and, at different points in progress of probably another 15 already that I will
Kevin?
eventually get those out there. I mean, in the end, I'll put out 50 to 100 books at some point. But as long as, if I can keep interest in it and people want to purchase them or download them and all that kind of stuff, I'll keep doing it.
I like to see that because you're a very interesting person and you do write great novels.
Thank you.
And I wouldn't mind having one of those. Anyways, well, this is getting towards the end of the show. I was just wondering, what would you like to share with my audience to encourage them to do what they can do with their group, their career, their lives, the way you went through a lot of adjustments throughout your life.
I think the biggest thing that I would tell anybody is to believe in yourself, even when it feels like nobody else does. You've got control of your own destiny in regards of, things like this. If you want to write a book, if you want to write poems, songs, if you want to do artwork,
Yeah.
and you believe in yourself, that's all that matters. You have to believe in yourself because you're not going to find that in other people, especially not right off the bat. Once other people start coming on board, then everything is great. But you have to have that faith in yourself to do it, because honestly, with this, there's not that many people that are going to help you. People in the business may look at you as a threat, things like that, but there's not a bunch of people who are going to jump up and help you. And and there are a lot of people who will prey on people, hey, pay for this service and we'll guarantee you this, and it doesn't pan out like that. So keep faith in yourself.
I have to thank you, Tom, and my audience for tuning in to my Patty's Page TV show. We'll see you next week. God bless.
Thank you.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us always, for the rest of our lives.